Thank you for attending today's training session on QQEvolution. Today what we're going to be covering is the forms inside the clients themselves, and we're also going to be going over the letters. So here we are on the dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and click on Clients. Then I'm going to choose what client. Always make sure you have your client highlighted, the one that you want to work with. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down to the letter section. Now is our letter section, which of course is inside of our clients drawer. This section here, this is not where you can create your own letter templates, anything like that. That's a different training section, and you create your own letter templates in another part of our program called QuickWord. What this here is basically a storage area for all letters, invoices, and receipts that you have previously printed on this client. Now you can print letters from here, but as you've been doing training and most of the buttons up here across the top that lead up to letters, a lot of them have a print button and allow you to print letters from there. So there's a lot of shortcuts to print letters. So I don't know if you'll actually come in here to do it, but you can click on print. Up pops open a list of your available letter templates. I can go ahead and I can select one. I can hit OK. And it will open up the letter for it to be printed. I don't have any actual letters in here, so that's why I don't have anything displaying here. I'm going to go ahead and you can print it out from here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit return, and I don't want to save this. You can also reprint letters from here, and you notice as I select a letter over here to the right, it shows me what the display of the letter, a preview of it, what I had printed previously. I can select a letter and click on reprint. Up pops it. I click on print, and it reprints the letter for me. So if a client ever lost a copy of their invoice or receipt, you could always come in here and print a new one right off for them. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. That is basically our letter section. There's not a lot to this section. Okay, as I said, this is more to me than anything a storage, like a storage area for any letters, invoices, and receipts that you have previously printed. You can over here, as it says, double click on the letter for a larger view, so I can double click on it, and it gave me a larger view. And then if I want to go back to my regular view, I click on Restore Screen, and back there I am. And that's about all there is to our letter section. Now here we are in our Forms section. As you see, I already have one form saved in here. And any forms I have saved on this client will be stored in here. And you can always reopen them if you need to and finish, typing on them, whatever you need to do. Now, up here at the top, what can we do in here? A chord form. This is my Add area. So if I click on Add a Chord Form, it's going to pop a list of my accord forms. We can sort this by the state we're in, or we can sort the forms by all states. You can shuffle these by the top of their headers, like form name. I can go ahead and click on this, and now it brought me to the Y's. I click on it again, it brought me back to A's, so it lists them in alphabetical order. I can also do them by number, state, and by edition date. Now all I have to do is go ahead and double click on a form. It's going to open up. Any areas in yellow on an accord form are areas that you can type in or you can edit. We do pull information over onto accord forms for you. Like you see, here's the client's information, the company, phone numbers, policy number, business phone, expiration effective date, and so forth. It just depends on what type of accord it is, what kind of accord, and what type of line of business it is as to what information we pull over and how much. Now, when you open up an accord, if you don't fill out anything, type anything anywhere in any of the yellow areas and hit return up there, this form will not be saved. Again, it will not be saved if I don't type something somewhere. So what I'm going to do is just click in here and I'm going to type, just say a letter W. I mean, you just have to type something somewhere. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and hit return up here. And you see now it's been saved. Here it is. Watercraft application. Right there it is. Also underneath our Add button, we have where you can create, you can go ahead and select a custom PDF. You can create your own customized PDFs. They have to be fillable PDFs. Generally, you need like a full Adobe program to be able to create those. Sometimes you can find those type of forms online that they'll let you download and keep, but they have to be a fillable PDF. And when you click on here, and you'll be able to, they'll be listed in here. You save them into our program files, and it'll be listed in here. See, we do provide you with a couple of them. And then once you have it selected, you just simply hit OK, and then that fillable PDF appears. And then I can go ahead and add whatever I need to it, as you see. I'm going to go ahead and hit return here, so you can use your own customized PDFs, fillable PDFs. Next up, we have the button Forms here. Now, display, that simply is the same as double clicking on a form and opening it. Let's click on display, it reopens up my form. Let's hit return here. Next up, we have save as new. Now, this is a handy button. Let's say this watercraft application, I did it this year, 2009. Okay, now let's say 2010 rolls around and my client says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I want to renew this, and you need the same watercraft application with basically all the same information on it, but of course for 2010. So what you can do, so you don't have to redo the whole thing, is select the original, click on Save as New, give it a new name, like let's say Renewal 2010, and we hit OK, and it's going to save it again. Right here it is. And we can open this up, and it's the same exact form as the original in 2009. Up here we can come and change the date, and all my existing information is still here. I can change it up, add to it, or take it away, whatever I need to do. So you see, that can save you a lot of manual labor, especially when it comes to like those certificates with all the certificate holders on it. It's very handy. Now here's my delete button. I can select you can select one and click on delete. It'll say, are you sure? Because delete is permanent again, okay? I know on all these sessions I keep mentioning it whenever I go to delete something, it's permanent, because it is. I can't stress it enough. You cannot get this back once it's deleted. So if I answer yes, it is now going to be permanently gone out of my system. Here we have edit description. Over here to the right we have our description. Sometimes we give you one, sometimes we don't. Maybe you don't like ours. You're more than welcome to put your own description in. I click on edit and we can go ahead and put in whatever we want here. I'm just going to put in test, hit OK, and now it has its own description right here. As you see, you can put a pretty long description in. Change policy. Now, especially since we put information automatically onto Accord Forms for you, it pulls it over from your clients and your policies, it is important when a client has multiple policies to select the correct policy that the form goes with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here to my search screen, and I'm going to select a client I know that has multiple policies so you can see this better. Let's go back to Forms. Now you see we have different forms because I am on a different client. Now, as I said, if they have multiple policies, it's important to choose the correct policy to go with it. So if I select this one here, as you see, it's associated with this policy by ARA Casualty with 6666666 on it, and maybe that's wrong. I can click on Change Policy. It says, do you wish to change the policy associated with the form? Yes, I would. It's going to display all the policies. I can select another one, hit OK, and now this is reassociated with the different policies. You see now it changed to affirmative and the 55555 number. All right, now we have groups. What this comes in handy for, especially, let me give you an example. Let's say you're the type of person or the type of agency that maybe does commercial properties. And maybe there's multiple buildings on that property, and you need to do separate accords for all those buildings. So what I can do is form a group. So I can click on Add, and let's put in here Building 1. And I'm going to hit OK. And now I want Building 2. I'm going to go ahead and put in Building 2. Of course, I'm not going to put in all the buildings in here. You get the idea. Now what it did is create folders for me. What this can do is now have easy access, because if you have multiple buildings, they could have the same accords, but of course it's for that particular building. So what I can do is fill out my accord, and now it's listed here, and I can drag it and drop it where I need it. So I can drag this simply by clicking on it, drag it, drop it, and now you see this folder called Building 1 now has its own accord in it. And you can tell that over here by this little minus sign that it's open. If I click it, it's closed. As you see, it also saves you room here. So this could be pretty handy, especially if you have a large client that has lots of different things, that has different certificates and evidence of properties and things like that. You can group them together for easy access and, easy to find them, especially if you don't use a description section, because, description is where you can put a difference between maybe two certificate of liabilities, especially, besides for the date, you can put in a different description for easily to pick them out. Now, you can also remove a group. Now, let me go ahead and click on Remove. It tells me, oh, I can't remove this because I've got to drag out what's in there to remove it. The reason being for that is, what if you accidentally deleted this folder with, say, 25 certificate of liabilities in it? That would be a nightmare, and it would be permanently gone. So first we make you drag everything out. So I click what I want out, drag it, and drop it out. Let me go ahead and grab it here, drag it and drop it out. And now it's out of there. There's nothing else now in this folder. If I click on it, nothing. So now I can remove it. And now the Building 1 is gone. So I can also remove the group. Here at the end we have our print, email, fax button. You're allowed to, of course, if you have the email system set up throughout our program in the utilities, which our training session for our utilities tells you what you need to do. Of course, you need to be using Microsoft Outlook or Outlook Express in order to email anything out of our program. I can select this. And I don't have a printer set up, so just hang on one quick second here for me. So if you don't have a printer set up, let me actually bring that back up again. and it shows me I have an error. The printer driver isn't set up correctly. It's because I don't have a printer selected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a printer. So that actually was a good error message to show you. So let me go in here and select one. As you see, here's my printer area. I'm going to go ahead and just select this one by right-clicking on it and selecting Set as Default Printer. And I'm going to close this, so now I have a printer. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Print Email Fax. It brings up my Print Email Fax box. You see the dot is next to print, but I can change it to email here. Again, to email, you can go ahead. This will always be whatever address. Maybe you want to send it to the client, or you can also send it to somebody else. You see, you can send it to multiple people. You can click this little button here, which will access your address book out of your Outlook. Okay, the address book from your Outlook. This doesn't integrate with Outlook, but you can pull up your address book and then select people to have in here. And it will also allow you access to our Rolodex, which your Rolodex would have things in it like your the addresses and everything, and email addresses to insurance companies, contacts for those companies, your lien holders, certificate holders, and so forth. So I can go ahead and put in a 2 here, and I can type in a subject. Let me just put in test mail. So you see here, I have this right here in the body. It says insurance company, insurance test company. That's because in my utilities, when I sent out my email, I chose to have a signature put on here, and this is a signature I had put on. So this will be at the bottom of all my emails when I send them. That's my signature. Now, as you see, you can send multiple items. I can choose to send in a Accord form. I could also go to images and choose one if I had any. I could also go to letters and select one. So I can select multiple items, click on send, and it will go ahead and send the email. So you can also, by the way, not include your signature. If I uncheck mark that, you see the signature disappears. You can also use a email cover letter. If you have created yourself one in our Quick Word program, created your own email letter template, when you click the drop down, they would be displayed here. I, of course, don't have it in here. It would be displayed here, and you can choose one and send a cover letter along with it. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here. And that is our form section. And all forms that you add in, regardless if you do it here directly in the form section or you use the shortcut while you're on the policy screen, there's an add a form button there as a shortcut. Same thing with our claims section. There's a shortcut button for add a form so that you don't actually have to come in here to do it. Those forms added from there will be stored here as well. So you can store all the Accord forms on your client. Okay, so that wraps up our Accord form section.